All right.
Carlos Nelson with What's Up Worldwide. And today I want to introduce another one of our contributors. He's an artist. He's got about 5 different types of hats that he wears. And I'll let him talk about what he does and how he does it. Mr. Michael Toombs. Welcome to the show, Michael.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me and inviting me to be a part of this. And so I was looking forward to speaking with
Uh,
you and your group today.
tell tell our audience a little bit about yourself. And my my main tagline is "Go back to kindergarten."
Hmm. Well, if I was to go that far back, I would say that Michael Toombs is an artist that began probably around 12 years old, at least became aware of my path as an artist at about 12 years old, and that would have been uh, early in the life of my family as a group. Like a lot of young people I grew up with, I grew up with my mother raising 4 kids, and my sister is was inflicted with polio at a very young age, and so my mother had the responsibility at one point in our life taking care of all 4 of us. When her and my father broke up and moved to Kansas City, uh, I was forced to become accustomed to a whole different way of life. I believe I became more aware of my artistic ability shortly after that point because, being confused and being thrown into an entirely different situation, being the oldest of 4, it was quite a burden to try and figure out what to do in my life. I was selected by a principal at a elementary school to be part of a program at the Nelson-Atkins Museum in Kansas City. And every weekend we would travel, me and 2 other young people would travel there, and there'd be about 30 of us in all. And we worked with a professional artist who was retired, who took us through the facility and introduced us to a lot of the unique exhibits. And I believe that would probably be the period in which I became more aware of art as a tool in life, art as a change agent. Up until that point, I didn't really have an understanding of this thing that was considered to be art and creativity. No one had really taught that to us at that point. So my career began at that point, and I had lots of challenges to overcome. Uh, uh, Going forward, um, as time went on and I went from middle school into high school, I discovered other abilities, other talents, how my art could be translated into other mediums such as
Excuse me
acting.
for interrupting
Yeah,
you.
go ahead.
Tell our
Mhm.
audience what middle school you went to and what high school you went to.
The middle school I went to was called Garrison. It was inside a complex, housing complex in Kansas City, one of the low rent housing complexes, which is what my mother could afford when my mother and father broke up. It was called Shoto Court. And inside Shoto Court was an elementary school named Garrison. And when I started going to junior high school, it was right at uh, it was shortly after integration because we were bused from the east side of town to the west side of town as part of integration. And the school I went to was West High School on the west side of Kansas City. It was primarily Hispanic and white. Into Manual and Westport and Southeast and East. But I went to West High School.
All right. And from there, go ahead and continue. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
Oh, that's all right. Please do ask any questions you have. Once I went into high school and I started exploring music and song and I still maintained a strong connection to my strongest ability, which was drawing and painting. I hadn't really developed much in the area of painting, and I'm 68 years old, and at 68 years old, I've experienced considerable amount. I've worked with lots of artists, and one of the things that I've discovered over time is that because as artists, African Americans, Hispanics, so those of us who've not been privileged to get the formal training that the system sometimes provides, uh, I never really got the chance to develop my painting skills until late in life. Uh, it's funny because I went to Burkina Faso, West Africa, and we did a project there. And one of the things that was most fascinating to the people we work with was the idea of paint, using paint as a medium. They had never really gotten a chance to do that. And it was like being on another planet for us to bring them paint to work with. It was kind of the same thing here. They never really nurtured that side of who we were as creatives. And so therefore it took a long time for me to get to that point. I see a lot of artists today, a lot of the young people I work with who spend a lot of their time developing sketching. They like to sketch and they don't want to break away from it because they feel comfortable with it. But in order to advance in the market, the way the market is designed, it's always important to try and find ways to develop your skill, your craft in paint. Anyway, I did learn quite a bit about painting. I started painting seriously in about 1991. But one of the things that I found most difficult when I made the decision to explore art as a career, and that didn't happen until right around 91. A little bit prior to that, but I never really invested myself into it until about 91. One of the things I discovered was that it was very difficult to break into the market, to be a professional artist, so to speak. There was very little opportunity for African American and an artist of color in this city, and it was very difficult to go to other places even to get an opportunity to show your work. And so I felt that the only way to really advance was to create my own opportunities. I created my own market access. And one of the ways I went about doing that was I started looking into what organizations and agencies were out there that were actually involved in the arts in our city. And they had a number of different organizations that were functioning as arts organizations. Very few of them had artists of color integrated within their systems, which was, one of the major challenges I observed. And so one of the first things I did was I looked into where the people spent a considerable amount of their time. And Carlos, anytime you need to take me down a different path, feel free, but I'm going to kind of keep.
This is what I wanted to ask you. What do you feel you bring to Cascade Media Group as becoming one of our newest contributors? How do you feel about what you bring to the organization and to the community?
Well, I'm giving some thought to that. And what I feel I have to offer, should Cascade decide that they want to embrace that, is a unique focus on creativity and how creativity can be developed and expanded and provided access to others.
That's my man. Access to others. There we go.
Okay, so we've been kind of locked out of everything. And people want you to feel that you have access and feel that you're a part of things, but really, um, there are things happening, money changing hands, perspectives on how things should be being decided on a day-to-day basis, and we're not included in any of that. By the time we are asked to be a part of these things, decisions have already been made, and we've not been a part of it. We've not been included. I feel that I can bring a unique perspective on how to maneuver those avenues, how to, and it's not unique to any specific area. I've observed anywhere in the world, really. No matter where you go, yes, some of us, those of us sometimes who've been identified as uh, I don't know how to put this, most accessible, I guess, most conducive to a specific approach that they want to take. And when I say they, I mean the institutions who have made the decision that they're the ones that are going to make the decision about what we can present as art. They make the decisions on who of us get a chance to excel. And unfortunately, sometimes, in fact, a lot of the times, the message that needs to come forward may not come from these specific narrowed paths that they've identified or established as what's best for us.
You're super diplomatic.
Yeah, I've had to be, Carlos, because it's the only way I've been able to survive out here. I've had to be able to get close enough to understand what the issues are, and while at the same time try and find a unique and different way of bringing forth a different answer, if that makes sense.
It makes all the sense in the world, and hopefully that's what Cascade Media Group is supplying. I asked you, what can you do for us, what we can do for you and the community, because you have so much experience. That's the main thing that I look at when I asked you, would you come on board, was your experience not in one particular field, that you were able to show me that you wore 5 or 6 different hats, and not only you wore those hats, you were capable of learning to wear some new things and do some new things in a different way. And so we feel Cascade Media Group is the wave of the future, and that wave is the internet, and the future is now. And we feel that asking you to come on board as a contributor takes us to another level as a media company that is providing digital media on a daily basis to our community that has some value. So what
That's
I
a powerful
like
statement. I like hearing that. Thank you.
Yeah, what I'd like to say now, let's take a look at some of your artwork and some of the things that you have created.
6 murals, same scale, 6 different locations around the city, all unfolding at the same time, all sending the same message.
We have to recognize the systemic racism. We have to recognize where people are being brutally murdered and mistreated because of the color of their skin in America, in Kansas City.
We are representing the people that are not able to be here to show up for themselves. The names of the people who have already been killed by police brutality, we can't do them an injustice. We have to get it right.
If we can get on one accord, the accord that Black lives do matter, if we can come together for this, what are all the ways that we can come together?
You know, the sad thing is that it takes usually some major situation to happen before we realize just how interconnected we are.
So you got quite a collection of work here. What would you have to say in closing to our audience?
You know, I was thinking a little bit about your earlier question about what I can bring. And what I think is important for individuals out there to know about the unique brand of art that can be shared through this process is that it is about working together. If you work together with people, if you show people or provide people access to the process of creativity, if you can bring them to the table where solutions are constructed and put together and implemented, you get a much more powerful tool than you get if one person tries to do it all themselves. You know, the projects that I've done over the years have been successful, not so much because Michael did them, but because Michael worked with a team of people who together produced something that amazed a lot of other people. When you see the projects that I do, especially like Black Lives Matter and some of the larger murals that we've done, they weren't done by me with a brush in my hand, standing there for hours alone and doing it myself. It was me working in a community, finding out what they needed to accomplish, and then providing them a method in which to fulfill that vision. So those of you who are out there who have interest in the creative aspect of life and want to contribute more, want to figure out more about your own abilities and how you can merge that with what goes on in the world, you know, we're going to be looking at how to come together to find solutions and answers to those kind of questions, working together, not as individual silos, but as a collective of different thinking people coming together to use their creative crafts to merge, to put something out there that people have yet to see happen before. And so that's how I'd like to leave it. I'd like to leave it with, you know, we're not going to be doing something that you come and sit down and look at. We're going to be doing something where we work together to come up with some solutions for some unique challenges of the day.
All right. So as we always close, when you invest in your community, you're really just investing in yourself. Good night.
This is brought to you by Kansas City Business Association, working to improve our community.